Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Foodyaari, I, Ms. Simran Ahuja, would like to welcome our esteemed guest speaker for today, Mr. Kaushal Dongre, sir, and all the attendees for the fourth webinar session of the Foodienar Series organized by Foodyaari, which is a cloud web based platform in the domain of food science and technology. The Foodienar series will consist of a sequence of webinar sessions with eminent professionals from the food industry as our guest speakers. In these uncertain times of COVID, let us all come together to acquire valuable knowledge from the comfort of our own houses. So, I present to you the topic for today's webinar: Redefining the Traditional Jaggery Business Success Story of Paawak Foods, for which we have with us today our guest of honor, Mr. Kaushal Dongre, sir, co-founder of Paawak Foods, a fast-growing company engaged in agro products. Before we start our interactive session with Kaushal sir, I would like to request all our audience to please post your questions and queries in the comment section below so that we can get to them towards this end of this session. So let us start. Kaushal sir,
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
it is our honor to have you with us today, sir. So, sir, we'll begin with the first question that we have.
Yes.
Why choose the name Paawak Foods? Why and what does it signify?
Uh, so Paawak, the meaning of Paawak in Sanskrit is purifying and also Agni. So as we are in agro-based products and specifically in Jaggery, which helps in purifying the system, our body. That is why we kept this name, which is very unique and has a meaning as well. So basically, it purifies the body. Jaggery purifies our body. That is why we kept the name as Power.
Very meaningful, sir. And let us move on to the next question in continuation. What agro based products does the company sell?
Right. So as I said, we are completely focused on establishing our brand in Jaggery, and going forward, we want to get into Jaggery-based products as well. And right from the start, as I said, Jaggery is what we are focusing on.
Right,
But
sir.
just as
So,
just as there's parachute in coconut oil, uh, distillery in mineral water, we are focused and we are determined to make Paawak a household name in Jaggery.
I hope and wish for the same, sir. And we have a question from our audience here. It will appear on the screen. So, how did the idea of this product creation occur to you?
Right. So few years back, I clearly remember I was sitting with my father, and after a few failed ventures, I again went to him and said, Dad, uh, I want to do something in food industry. And considering my background that I was not able to succeed in earlier ventures, of course, which were not related to agricultural industry. But since we are Maharashtrians and having that conservative approach, my dad was in government service. Right from the beginning, he felt that I should uh, work somewhere, work for someone. So he said that, son, you are a commerce and law graduate. Why don't you think of working in a MNC or something in corporate sector? But I told him that Dad, give me one more chance. What I feel is the amount of hard work and dedication which I know I can put in. If I do it for myself in my own venture, I'm sure sooner than later I'll succeed for sure. So, with a big sigh, he said, "Fine, if you want to do something in the food industry, uh, you should meet Dr. Prabodh Halde, who is my mentor and a family friend, my dad's very close friend. So he told me that you should go and meet him first. And I remember when I had gone to meet him, uh, he said that I told him that my focus or my passion is into production. I want to get into production. Any agro based product, I want to get into production. Having a factory and manufacturing setup is what you was I was fascinated with. And before I could complete, he interrupted and told me that, Kaushal, you're thinking in the wrong direction.
Okay.
Always try to sell something first. Learn how to sell something. Once you learn the art of selling, uh, going forward as a part of backward integration, you can get into production. So that basically changed my mindset completely. And he asked me, I told him that I'm from Karad, which is a part of Kolhapur belt, world renowned for Jaggery. He gave me a
Right, sir.
suggestion that, yeah. So he told me that there was no one who had thought of building a brand in Jaggery. And since our place has got a lot of Jaggery production there, he said that if you've got the perseverance and patience, you should think of building a brand in Jaggery. That's how we actually, that's how the idea came. That was through my mentor, as I said.
Very great. So, sir, talking about failed ventures, what was the biggest challenge in setting up this company and how did you overcome it?
Right. So we realized that Jaggery being a commodity and a traditional product which is required on a daily basis, almost on a daily basis. We knew that
Right.
if we want to, make a mark for ourselves, we had to come up with something innovative. Had we come up with these half kg, 1 kg blocks that you get in the market, there are already hundreds and thousands of players all over India. So we would not have been able to make a mark for ourselves. Just to realize how we can come up with something innovative or something new, we did consumer insighting. And in that we found that inconvenient size and unhygienic packing of this Jaggery are two major reasons why consumers were reluctant to use Jaggery on a daily basis. Because housewives को वो रोज फोड़ा फोड़ी करना है, कौन ये करेगा? उससे अच्छा फिर शुगर यूज कर लेते हैं।
Right.
मिठाई वगैरह खाना है तो डब्बे में ये लगा हुआ है, टूटा फूटा है, उससे अच्छा फिर मिठाई खा लो. So we wanted to break that. We wanted to see how we can actually uh, address the solution of the consumers. We did a lot of R&D, and after doing a lot of R&D, we came up with innovative product in small cubes form. So we've introduced small cubes. Uh, we're the first in the country to introduce this Jaggery in these small cubes form, hygienically packed in PET jars. And so we also knew, and right from the start we decided that we'll promote this or take this as a FMCG company. We had a fixed structure for our retailers, for our distributors, and fixed margins as such, because back then there was no one who had thought of having a fixed structure for Jaggery as such. And when we went to the market, uh, I know almost without any exaggeration, we met almost uh, 90 to 100 retailers then. And a lot of these retailers, they've been in business for almost 20, 30 years. When I went with the product, oh, they said that Jaggery, we priced it at 80 rupees half kg, so 160 rupees a kg then. And normal Jaggery was available at 60 to 70 rupees a kg. So when we went, almost everyone was saying, "अरे गुड़ ही तो है ना, गुड़ कभी इतना महंगा बिक ही नहीं सकता है." Still remember एक जन ने तो बोला कि बॉस, मैं अगर आपने ये गुड़ बेच के दिखाया, मैं अपनी टोपी निकाल के आपके कर्मों में रख दूंगा, कुछ भी हार जाऊं. So, somehow we were able to convince to, on the condition that कि sir, consumer is the king. You keep the product. Only two retailers agreed. We told them that you keep the product, just a few jars. If they don't go off the shelf, we are here to take them back. To which they reluctantly agreed. And as I told you, we had already done the consumer insighting. We knew that there's a need for this product, and the consumers like the product. And through word of mouth, it spread. And almost, I believe, almost all the retailers would turned us back then are doing business with us now.
And feel highly motivated as all the people who did not support you at first are now supporting you. So that makes me feel very relieved. So, sir,
Yes,
speaking about
absolutely.
the different products that you have guys launched, such packaging of good as such. So, what are the other things that make Paawak Foods or the Paawak Jaggery different from the others that we have in the market?
Right. So our USP back then, people were under the impression that this bright colored, जो light colored jaggery है, it is better than the
The dark
dark colored
ones.
jaggery or chemical free jaggery. So they used to relate brighter jaggery with purity, and
Right.
so of course we were not using our main USP then was of chemical free jaggery. So we basically, inculcated and promoted this chemical free jaggery ki desi good, kala good. In fact, jo kala good hai, the dark colored jaggery is the one which is more pure, and that is what people should look it at. Also, in the process, we added, filtration system which avoided these impurities that you find in these half kg, 1 kg blocks. Our products were free of impurities. They were packed in these jars, so it was convenient for the housewives also to use. People were calling us and telling us that कि हमारे बच्चे chocolate की जगह गुड़ खाने लगे हैं. So that satisfaction that you get, it's at a different level altogether. Then people are shifting to jaggery.
Right, sir. So the process of making it organic was something that your company did different
Right.
than the rest. Very nice, sir.
Right. So basically, chemical free jaggery and these innovative size to make it convenient for the consumers.
Consumers as well. Right. Very nice, sir. So next question from our audience we have, how do you manage the constant raw material supply throughout the year as sugarcane is only seasonal?
Right. So it is a challenge even now, to be honest. As rightly said, it's a seasonal product, but and as of now, we are doing production on third party basis. So on a job work basis, we are getting it done. So all these years, we were focusing on getting the right technology, so that we didn't want to set up a plant and not produce Jaggery cubes, which is the main product, and go to production of these half kg, 1 kg blocks, which is not our forte. So what we are planning going forward when we have our own plant is tying up with the local farmers and plan their production in such a way that harvesting can be done for almost 9 to 10 months uh, of the year, and not just 5 6 months as it is happening now.
Right, sir. Very innovative. And moving ahead, in continuation, another question from our audience. Sir, how do you ensure that your products are safe, pure, and allergen free? Are there any different practices that you're inculcating in your manufacturing steps?
Of course, so we do production, as I said, we are doing it on job work basis and in someone else's plants. There are two manufacturing plants where we are doing it, but we see to it that we have our supervision team 24/7. It's not that they just pack it there and there's no one who to look after the quality and all. Our supervision team is there all the time. We look after the quality, whichever is the jaggery that is produced. If it's not according to our standards, we reject it upfront, and see to it that whatever we provide in the market is of the best quality, and there's no adulteration, like use of sugar or any other impurities or preservatives.
Right, sir. So, moving ahead, the next question. From the past few years, we have come to know that human health as well as the environmental conditions are very important. So, are there some policies that you are following, that the industry is following to reduce the carbon footprint?
So if you see, the production of jaggery any which ways is you know environmental friendly compared to the sugar factories that you see, and
Right.
So there's very less pollution that happens in these jaggery making plants, unlike in sugar plants. Of course, going forward, we're also looking for other packaging, materials where we can reduce the use of plastic as well. But to be very honest, uh, it is not possible as of now. But definitely, that is something that we have now and right now as well.
Right, sir. So moving ahead, did you get any funding when you started, or did you start out with your own investments? How did you go about it?
Right. So initially, we started with our own funding, and you know, a friend of mine uh, who's an investment banker and a very wise person, he told me, and that Kaushal, always start something small. When you start with something small, you are in a position to actually correct your mistakes. If you start with
Right.
something very big initially, and then if you're not able to, take the problems, solve the problems at the right time, it can backfire and you'll not be able to, stand again. So we started very slow. Initially, we in the first year we sold just 1,000 jars. The next year we sold a few thousand jars, and that is how gradually we grew. And so we didn't, think of raising funds to start with. Very gradually we started, and we didn't have our own production plant, so our costs were also under control. Our working capital requirement was very low to start.
So start out small and have a very practical approach. That's how you
Yes.
started.
grow
Yes, sir.
grow substantially. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, sir, another relevant questions in the times of COVID, how, did the company suffer, or were there any other challenges that you faced because of COVID?
Of course, logistic challenges are there, but last year when COVID, this pandemic started, uh, to be very honest, when it started, no one knew, how things will shape up. And I just prayed to God that, all I want during this period is that I should be able to pay my employees. God, that see to it that I am able to pay my employees because they are dependent on me. And by God's grace, in fact, the consumption of jaggery went up during the COVID times last year, and people were, having these kadas and all. So instead of sugar, they were using a healthier option. They knew that jaggery. There were a lot
Right.
of messages, circulating in WhatsApp on WhatsApp that jaggery helps in building immunity. And in so, as I said, the consumption actually went up. We were thankful to God that we are in a business where even during the COVID times we could do business.
So actually, the COVID was a boost for your product being
Yes,
organic and healthy and a healthier option.
right,
So
right.
very nice. So moving ahead, so where do you see your company in the next 5 years?
Uh, in the next 5 years, of course, we would. So our presence as of now is majorly in Maharashtra. We've got distributors in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Thane, Aurangabad, Nagpur, and two, three distributors outside Maharashtra like Hubli and all. We believe that going forward in the next 5 years we'll be able to have our presence in other regions as well, and we'll strive to have a pan India presence by then and grow our business to be targeting almost 50 crores turnover the next 5 years.
Right, sir. Very nice. So moving ahead, this is a question our audience has also asked. Are there any plans of diversifying these products? And if yes, what other products can we expect from this company?
Right. So as of now we've got two products. Major products are these jaggery cubes and powder. We've also recently launched jaggery in liquid form, which is called kakvi. A lot of Maharashtrians must be aware of it. So kakvi we've launched, and also we are planning to have jaggery in small sachets as well, which can be used in these coffee shops. A lot of coffee shops, if you see, you get normal refined sugar and brown sugar, but you do not find jaggery in sachets and such. we're also exploring that option. And when we have our own plant, of course, jaggery based products as well. A lot of products which are actually healthy, but because almost 35 to 40% ingredient that is a part of that product is sugar, refined sugar. So we would like to, have some products which will replace this refined sugar with a healthier product like jaggery, and have jaggery based products in our line going forward.
Very nice. The idea of sachets was very innovative. I hope
Yes.
that works well in the future. So moving ahead, we have our next question from Advait. So could you put light on homotherapy on your product, Jaggery powder, which is one of its kind in the whole country? Any insights on
Right.
this?
So yes. So uh, so exactly almost a year or so after introducing this jaggery cubes, we came up with this powdered jaggery. Um our partner, Mr. Mahesh Duradi, he's a farmer in Karnataka, and even then there were a few people who were into manufacturing of powder. But what struck us is, he was doing this Agnihotra Homa uh, in his field every day. So wherever he's got his own 30 acres farm. So at the time of every sunrise and sunset, he does this Agnihotra Yagya, which basically purifies the environment where it is performed. And
Oh,
even during the production, that jaggery, that sugarcane which is used, it helps in basically having those qualities. And we'd actually, done testing of our products, of our powder with the competitors powders, and we found that the nutritional value of our powder was actually higher than what was available in the market of other players as well.
very nice. So you're approaching it in a holistic manner and increasing the nutrition content by using all these different approaches.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Very innovative. So next question we have is, does Jaggery also expire like other products? Does it has for shelf life? And what are the advantages that your package gives over other products of Jaggery?
Right. So for jaggery, in the sense, it has expiry period, like in we can so we uh, give a shelf life of almost 365 days. So that's what in our product is, do know the shelf life is almost 1 year. But jaggery being hygroscopic, there are certain challenges which one has to face during storage and transportation as well. So it is being hygroscopic, the chances of spoilage where the humidity is high and the heat is high, there are chances of spoilage. So we are working on something which will help us reduce these spoilage things, because a lot of people have started copying our product. There are a lot of Me Too products. Every trader who was was thinking back then, who was been in the business for almost 20 30 years, in these half kg 1 kg blocks, and they told me when I go to meet these presidents of these agri association, they tell me that हम लोग ने कभी सोचा नहीं था कि तुम्हारा कंपनी है, तुम्हारा ये प्रोडक्ट कभी मार्केट में इतना टाइम टिकेगा, लेकिन आज बाकी लोग भी आपका प्रोडक्ट कॉपी करने लग गए। उसपे से पता चल गया कि यार ये प्रोडक्ट में आपने कुछ कर दिखाया, कुछ अलग कर दिखाया। So the point that I'm trying to make is there are a lot of competitors who have entered, but as I said, being a hygroscopic product, there are a lot of spoilage issues. And since we are completely focused on building our brand in Jaggery, we have this research-based approach towards this product, which will help us, have the first mover advantage, that we have. Going forward, also we'll be able to maintain that position of being a market leader.
Very different and insightful approach. I'm sure that will give you an edge over the other market players of Jaggery.
Correct.
So, moving ahead, we know that you are not from a food technologist background. So, how did you manage a company in food, and as you mentioned, you had guidance from your mentor. But other than that, how did you manage this food technologist concept? And do you have any other mentors as well?
No. So basically, as I told you that it was Dr. Prabodh Halde who, right from the concept to whatever I am today, is because of him. It's not just mentoring; he's actually done hand holding, and to I'm really fortunate to have him as my mentor because uh, in food industry everyone knows what he is, and to have his backing is something which I'll be always be grateful for. So the thing is the importance of mentor. You see why I failed actually in the earlier ventures. I look at it, even then when I was trying my hand at other ventures, even then I was, focused, or, I had that determination and dedication to make it big or stay focused and work hard. But unless you have a mentor who can actually guide you in the right direction, just not having the energy is not important. You know, channelizing that energy in the right direction is what is important, and that is what my mentor did for me, and that's how it is. Whatever Paawak is because of Dr. Prabodh Halde.
Very lucky that Sir found you, your energy, and you found Sir's guidance. So very thankful for that. So, sir, moving ahead, we have the question: what various marketing schemes does Power Food use and adopt to ensure the success of your company? Are there any different schemes that you use for marketing?
Right. So, to be honest, while introducing new products, what happens is, so we've been in the market for last 5 years. Now, if you want to introduce any new product, um, the hard work that you've put in these last 5 years counts, right? So when the distributors go to the retailers and they tell that Pavak is coming up with a new product, they are more receptive to this idea rather than introducing a new brand completely. So when they know
Right.
that the product has got acceptance from the consumers, they're basically receptive to other products. Like when we introduced Kakvi or
Right.
any other product that we'll introduce, that advantage that you have of being in the market for a longer time helps. So जो बोलते हैं ना कि कोई भी business में 1000 दिन आपको you have to persevere, आपको रहना चाहिए. So all these things matter. आप इतने टाइम से मार्केट में हो, you have that connections, you have those resources. All these matter because you're in the business and you've been grinding it for quite a long time, which helps in the long run.
So building a base for your business is very important. Then you can start launching
Absolutely,
other.
absolutely.
Yes. So, sir, next we have a question from Manvi. Do you have any plans of making flavored jaggery products, such as introducing flavors into the traditional jaggery like peanut or poppy seeds, etc.? Has this idea come across?
Yes, yes, certainly. So flavored jaggery is something which is on our minds. There is, there are people who have this masala good, uh, you know, available in the market. There are people who are introducing in these half kg, 1 kg blocks. But we want to be very sure. We want to be sure that whatever we come up with is actually done after a lot of research and going through the the testing of the product and everything. Once we are sure of of this process, then we'll introduce new products, flavored jaggery, masala jaggery, or something which will basically add the nutritional value of that jaggery all the.
Right, sir. Uh, One more question, sir, we have. Sir, do you use any government schemes to launch the Paawak foods? Is there any support that you get from the government? If so, which ones are they?
uh, till now we've not you know uh, uh, got any government schemes as of now, but now we've started participating in different these startup competitions and startup competitions that come up, or a lot of applications come up for various various startups where we are trying to mark our presence and let them understand how our journey has been, and to actually see where we can you know get the funding or the recognition that we are looking for going forward.
Right, sir. So the next question we have, if you have to say the SWOT analysis of Jaggery making from all your experience, what are the factors that you would like to enlist in the category of Jaggery making SWOT analysis?
uh, your strength will definitely come from the quality that you'll be able to supply. So it goes for any product, not just Jaggery. The strength, of course, will come from the quality that you're supplying. Weakness, of course, there are competitors that you will be having, and how you can remain ahead of the competition. That is what you have to look forward to. Opportunities. If you see Jaggery making, there are a lot of players who've introduced or basically put up their own Jaggery making these production plants, but they've not planned how they're going to sell it. So a lot of people uh, have put up their plants and they don't know how they're going to sell it. So opportunity is definitely there because people are just like uh, your Indian consumers are moving towards millets like bajra, jwari from wheat
Right.
again. We see a strong trend where people are moving towards jaggery from
Sugar.
refined sugar. Yeah, so the opportunity is there, but as I said, it's always better to start small, do some trading or get the feel of the business first, and then go ahead. Threats, threats, of course, if you see a lot of multinational companies may going forward get into this business as well, but the market itself is huge. Almost the annual market for jaggery in India itself is 70 lakh tons, which is absolutely huge. And here I'm not even considering the expanding market where people are moving towards jaggery from refined sugar. And not even and even the market for export is growing with every passing day. So there are threats, but of course, if you stay focused and have a dedicated channel of production as well as marketing, then you're good to go.
Thank you very much, sir, for answering thoroughly the SWOT analysis of this market. So, moving ahead, sir, does your company provide any trainings for degree students, or are there any plans for launching internship programs or any trainings for the degree students out there?
Yes. So So we have our main office is in Navi Mumbai, and our production happens near Pune and in Karad. So we do have interns there. We do take interns there for look after the production and basically having these SOPs, getting these SOPs done correctly, and looking after the hygiene aspects. We've had quite a few interns till now. We're still looking for interns, but those interns are of course not which we can have in our office here because it's a marketing office here. They have to be on our plant where the production happens.
Right, sir. Different opportunities in your company. Does your company have an R&D facility, and how does it work?
So yeah, R&D facility means, as I said, that it's a marketing company for now. But we have, bought our own land. We've got a industrial land that we've bought in MIDC Patan, which is a part of Satara district. So there, once we are having a pack house there now, and going forward, our own production plant will be there. And parallel, while having this pack house, we're going to have our own R&D department as well, where we can do a lot of research and innovate with other products.
So coming soon.
Sorry.
Okay, sir. Moving ahead, sir, if a young entrepreneur just like you wants to start his own journey in entrepreneurship, starting his own business, what suggestions would you have for them? What advices would you like to give them?
Um, Three things, from this, I would say, a short journey that I've had till now. Three things or three key learnings that I would like to share are, of course, as every entrepreneur would say, that, you need to have dedication and determination. But to be very honest, when you actually are part of that entrepreneurship journey, you realize that it actually makes a lot of sense. You really need to be very determined and dedicated, because every now and then you'll feel कि यार कुछ मूव नहीं हो रहा है, कुछ हो नहीं रहा है, कब बढ़ेगा आगे, कब बढ़ेगा, कुछ होगा कि नहीं होगा. But you have to be at it, you have to persevere, see how you can utilize your every day in the best possible manner. Ask yourself, ask your question, how well I have utilized my day. Like, every day counts in the long run. And there's never a point where you feel ki yaar ab ho gaya. The challenges are there. Only the kind of challenge is what the the kind of challenge is what changes. But you have some challenge or the other in every part of the journey. So that determination and dedication, basically perseverance to to stick to it once you know that you want to do something in this, once you are passionate about it. And that you can have only when you identify, I would say, the first point before this, to persevere, you'll persevere in something where you have the passion and you realize that there's a need for some product in the market. Once you
Right.
realize that there's a need for a certain product in the market, it will help you to get that initial pull from the consumers, instead of trying to push your product right from day one. Once you identify the need, as I said, the pull that you get, it helps you to actually the uh, get that initial small demand that you want, or the receptiveness from the market that you want. It becomes easier once you identify the need. And so identifying the need in the market. Second is, of course, perseverance. And third, I would say, your interpersonal skills. uh, in If you see, I believe interpersonal skills is one thing that you have to have uh, in any aspect of your life, all the more in your entrepreneurship journey. The relations that you have with your channel partners, with your colleagues, with your team, and of course your vendors, all this counts in the long run. I've been fortunate that a lot of my distributors, my colleagues, my employees, all look at Paawak. We all look at Paawak as a family. We look at it that we all are members of this Paawak family, and everyone works for नहीं कि ये किसी और के नहीं कर रही, ये अपने लिए ही कर रहे. And that is possible when you're able to develop or have those interpersonal skills, where you can actually have that strong bond with all the channel partners in the system of your journey.
So, very thorough journey you've described, and the three key points that our audience will take away from this. Thank you very much, sir, for this inspiration story. And sir, moving ahead, you initially spoke about your reaction, the reaction that you got from your father when you started out telling him that you wanted to set up this industry. So, did you have a support from your family, or were they very fluctuative about this idea? And are you the first generation entrepreneur in your family, or have there been businesses running through your family
Right.
system?
So no, as I said, my father retired as a government servant, and since I'm a Maharashtrian coming from a Maharashtrian background, anyways, Maharashtrians have this conservative approach कि बाबा अगर अपने घर पे मंथली सैलरी आ जाए बस ठीक है, ज्यादा रिस्क विस्क लेना नहीं, बिजनेस अपने काम की बात नहीं है. एंड माय फादर ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू थिंक ये कर पाएगा नहीं कर पाएगा, बिकॉज महाराष्ट्रियन है, इसमें बहुत उल्टे सुलटे काम करने पड़ते हैं बिजनेस में, ये कर पाएगा नहीं कर पाएगा. बट आई बीन ग्रेटफुल टू गॉड दैट uh, I've been able to come to a level where we see that we are able to grow from here. So I believe it was perseverance. Initial years, of course, even when I started Power for the for the initial few years, he was not very confident whether I'll be able to do it. But as they say, find a purpose and the means will follow. If you've got a strong purpose, you do find, different solutions or resources do come to you. You realize that there is some infinite energy that which basically helps you to move towards your goal and achieve your goal.
Definitely, sir. A believer of energy. Perfect. So, sir, you also spoke about failed ventures that you did before this company started. So, were there any times that you hit rock bottom and you thought of not getting into business? What learnings did you get from all these failed ventures that you went through?
uh, right. So as I said, even in the earlier ventures, as I said, it was not that I was not working hard or not dedicated, but the direction that you want, how you want to move, which field, or in a specific field, how you should actually move ahead. That direction is very important. Sometimes it is, you get in early on in your career. Sometimes it takes time, but as I said, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. चलो 4-5 गए तुझे, लेकिन I'll see to it कि ये करके दिखाना है. I would say that I am thankful to God that He helped me, because even after these failed ventures, somewhere now I see, there's, as they say, there's light at the end of the tunnel. अभी दिख रहा है कि कुछ होगा यहाँ से आगे.
Very hopeful indeed. So, sir, moving ahead, we have a question. Are the products that Power Foods manufacture certified organic?
No, so they are not, organic, and we do not claim them as organic anyways on our labels as well. We only claim them as, chemical free, because in the process we do not use these harmful chemicals like sulfur, which is used for bleaching of jaggery. Yeah, so we do not claim it as organic, but because getting organic jaggery or organic sugarcane on large scale is a challenge even now. Of course, people are understanding the importance of, organic production, and going forward we see that we will be able to launch organic products as well in jaggery. But as of now, we do not have these organic products, and we are just promoting them as natural and chemical free.
Chemical free. Very
Yeah.
nice. So, thank you so much, sir. With this, we have answered almost all of the questions, all of the relevant questions. And I thank you again. And I hope that the future of Paawak Foods is very bright, not only on the national scale, but also I hope you success on the international scale. And I
Thank you.
hope, and I thank you very much, sir. I also
Thank you.
congratulate all the lovely audience that we've had right from the start of this session. It has been a very interactive session, all the questions and answers coming through very swiftly. So, thank you once again. On behalf of Foodyaari, I once again thank everyone for their time and energy during this entire session. And with this, sir, if you don't have any last words, we would end the session. Do you have anything to sum it up from your side?
Right, the last one point I would like to tell, there's this book I always tell, in any webinar that I take part. Uh, it's basically a course that, The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. It's something that I've read it quite a few times, but I keep reading it every now and then to keep myself in the right, a frame of mindset. So do read this book, The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill, and keep reading it as frequently as you can. It will help you a lot in the long run.
Yes, sir. We'll definitely imbibe the last advice that you've given. And
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, audience. On behalf of Foodyaari, I thank everybody again. And with this, we conclude the live webinar session. Thank you and stay safe, everybody.
Thank you. My pleasure.